before we preview week 3, I want to talk about Thursday night football a little bit because I think this was a game that me specifically, as someone that's been very hard on the NFC, I recently moved both of these teams up into that Super Bowl contenders slot after they made some respective moves. The Commanders obviously kept McLaurin, the Packers trading for Micah Parsons, and obviously it's week 2, right? But both teams were very healthy. There wasn't a lot of injuries. It looks like Austin Eckler has a Achilles injury, so wishing him the best. That sucks for Washington. But when you look at both of these teams, I really thought I wasn't expecting what we got from these two to happen on like what happened on Sunday night, but I was expecting a closer game. But man, it wasn't even close. I mean, yeah, there were some garbage time touchdowns there by Washington, but I mean, basically by halftime / the beginning of the third quarter, the game was over. I mean, Green Bay looked great.
Good point. It's funny. We've been talking about this Green Bay, Washington, along with Tampa Bay and maybe a couple other teams of the last couple of weeks. What I saw was Green Bay having a different level of energy than you'd have thought they'd had by adding in Micah Parsons, right? He played pretty well last week. He played even better this week. But I think his embodiment of work and his energy and the newness for him to being in Green Bay has really propelled that defensive front that they have over there. I don't remember Green Bay's defensive front being this aggressive last year. I don't remember that, right? And they handled the Washington team at the start of the game was 100% healthy. Now, we know what happened. You lose a lineman for the year, like he was in an air cast. You lose Eckler. Then they had one other injury. So, the game really took its toll on the Washington team. But I'll say this: Jalen was in trouble the whole game. He looked what's the word? He looked shook. He looked shook. He was running for his life, man, and I don't think he had an answer. He get back into his drop back. He had to move off his spot because someone was bearing down his throat. So maybe they just weren't planned for that for the Green Bay team that we saw, but they looked overmatched and they did not look like a team that we could talk about potentially being in the NFC conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, man, I'm not the biggest Jordan Love guy. I think he's a really good quarterback.
I said Jalen, didn't I? Was thinking about my guy.
You said Jalen, but yeah,
I got Jalen Hurts on my mind, man.
Get it? I've never been the biggest Jordan Love guy. I knew obviously he's pretty good.
We're talking about Washington. We're talking about Washington.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right, okay.
I mean, looking at both quarterbacks, like I think for me heading into this game, like I know what Jaden Daniels can bring to the table, and I thought Washington was going to win this game, but I got to give more credit to Jordan Love because I don't think I've given him enough credit. I think I've always looked at him as like he's good, but I just don't know. Like I don't know how to gauge him quite yet on how good he is amongst the other quarterbacks in the league. Right? I think there's some type of argument there for him to be a top 10 quarterback, but I don't think he is yet. Maybe I think he's floating in 11 or 12 if I had to take my best guess. But I mean, man, Jordan Love looked good. He looked good.
Yeah.
I think the questions about this receiving core can be put to bed. I know there was some Packer fans that were very excited about this receiving room and some that were like, okay, I've got my concerns, but it looks like Jordan Love and this team, they're going to make it work. And then they've got a nice running back in Josh Jacobs as well. And then you look at the defense, it looks good. I mean, you add Michael Parsons, it's going to look better. So you get to this NFC championship, and I said it on Twitter. I'm like, I think it's going to be Packers-Eagles. I know it's early, but man, I mean, it's like, imagine how that game would look when we get to late January, and it's either going to be in Philadelphia, in Lambeau. Both these teams know how to play in the cold. I mean, it should be a really good game. I mean, I would love it.
There's still a lot of game to be played yet, right? I think the people down there in Tampa, Florida, have something to say about what's going on. And then let's not forget about the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys are the team that people are talking about. You got a quarterback who played well last week. They're going to rebound against the Giants this week, 1-1. Keep it rolling. We'll see what happens. But I'm not going to just hand it over to Green Bay and Philadelphia right now. There's a lot of football we play. And the thing about this game, man, every game I've seen so far has had a season-ending injury in it. Every game I've seen so far. Now, mind you, I didn't see every game last week, but every game that I've witnessed and seen, there was a season-ending injury in it.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel right now. What's your overall thoughts on Washington? What does the rest of their season look like? How much does this loss did this loss for me? It's just okay, maybe Green Bay is the better team because in my head I would have probably had Washington above them. I think just the way Green Bay looked last night, it's hard for me not to say okay. I think Green Bay is the better team here.
What I say is this: it's
I know it's early.
It's game 2. Washington still has the talent. With Eckler being out, that's going to be a lot of onus on those young guys now in the backfield. Remember, because they traded Brian Robinson Jr. to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So with that said, the Deebo Samuels played well yesterday. The big kickoff return in the second half, started second half. Terry McLaurin is signed. You got your tight end. Your offensive line is pretty much intact. You added one. You added my guy from Mississippi, from Ole Miss. Starts with a T. I forget his last name. Tunsil. You added Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, you added Tunsil to the core. So they got youth. How they respond over these next couple of weeks will be really important. You had the Giants in week 1, and that was kind of a layup. You lifted up your competition this week. They were at home. They're hyped up. I got it. They did the Sterling Sharp presentation at halftime, putting him in the Ring of Honor for the Green Bay Packers after a 7-year career, a stellar 7-year career, by the way. I'll give a little bit of that to that situation as well too. So when the dust settles, maybe Green Bay is still the better team, but I'm not going to count Washington out right now.
Count them out. I definitely like Green Bay, but man, they look good. That's all I got to say. Let's move into week 3. That's what everyone is here for. We've got a lot of interesting games on the slate this week. I think the one that I want to talk about first, because we've talked about the Saints. We talked about, man, they may not win a game this year. If they do, that it'll have to be against New York or this and that. But they play the San Francisco 49ers this week. No Brock Purdy and no George Kittle. Mac Jones would be the quarterback. I'm not really that concerned. I think you got Shanahan as the head coach. I think Mac Jones may look the best he's looked in a while with Shanahan being his coach. So I think the Niners will still win. Is there a party that maybe? I mean, it's the NFL, right? Anything can happen. But how confident are you in the Niners to win this game if you put it on a scale of 1 to 100?
I'm confident about 90 to 95. They got better talent. New Orleans still have the same quarterback. They still got the same players from last week. Yeah, they gave a good run for their money last week. It was the first game of the season. They're at home. Everybody's hyped up. They got the voodoo dolls going and all that stuff like that. But I think this week it'll be a little bit more separation from San Francisco and the Saints. But San Francisco's got a lot of injuries, man. You don't know how they're going to respond to all those injuries. McCaffrey, he played, he had 31 touches, but he wasn't very effective. He wasn't very effective at all. I said, we talked earlier this week. I think it was 22 rushes for 69 yards and 9 catches for 40 some odd yards or something like that. So it didn't have a lot of movement there. So, I mean, maybe he has some issues, and maybe they need to help Brian Robinson get involved in more in the game plan. Younger, stronger player.
I think the Niners will win. Obviously, like we've said before, anything can happen. It's the NFL. Maybe the Saints can get the win. They gave Arizona a close game. We'll see what happens. You got the week 2 schedule pulled up?
Oh, no, I didn't have it up.
Okay. Because I'm curious what you think. There's a lot of interesting games. The Falcons and the Vikings are the Sunday night game. We saw the performance from J.J. McCarthy. I don't even think we've gotten to talk about that game yet. But I got to give props to McCarthy on the pod. I'm not going to go all the way back to Monday night, but I do got to give props to J.J. McCarthy because we talked on the phone at halftime and we were like, man, this kid may be rattled the rest of the game. It may get worse. It may get worse. But and another person I got to give credit to, I don't know if you saw the clip, is Justin Jefferson. There's a clip going around where they're on the sidelines and McCarthy's like, "Don't give up on me, don't give up on me," and Justin Jefferson's like, "You don't got to worry about that. You don't got, like." He's like, "We're good." He's like, "We're good." And when McCarthy rushes into the end zone for that touchdown, Justin Jefferson's the first one to run over there, coming out, "Yeah, JJ, yeah." So I got to give props to Minnesota for battling back. And there was a lot of talk about Justin Jefferson, like about his character, and if McCarthy doesn't get it figured out, he's going to want out. But it seems like that Jay Jettas is. I mean, obviously there could be a part of that too, but it's like for the most part, it's good to see the team leader he is being in Minnesota.
Well, it's always the receiver's fault, right? These are the divas, and when something goes wrong, they'll pan to a receiver, yelling at a quarterback or the coach, like in the Giants case with neighbors last week, right? It's always that, right? But what I'll say is this, I couldn't get past Jefferson with that bling he had around his neck. I don't understand how.
Yeah, that's a lot of
He probably had $50,000 around his neck. I don't know.
I don't know.
Can't relate to that.
Like if you got like one, okay. I mean, a lot of people.
He had a sack, man. Yeah, but I'll say this about McCarthy, right? He played a hell of a lot better in the second half. But with that said, still 13 for 20, 143 yards. Though, yeah, winning is important. When he won the game, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But also, he has the talent around him. If Sam Darnold could do it, McCarthy should be able to do it as well. He's younger, he's stronger, and he hasn't been, been punished as long. So let's just see it. And Jordan Mason ran the ball hard. Jordan Mason ran the ball really hard that night as well. He ran for 68 yards, but it just seemed like it was a lot more than that because he was breaking tackles.
Fun little stat. Since McCarthy lost to TCU in the college football playoff semifinals, he is 16-0 as a quarterback. Just something to throw out there. I thought the stat was cool. Sunday Night Football, though, Falcons-Vikings. Who do you have winning that?
Man, I know who you got. So
I know, yeah. I got the Falcons. I think the Falcons.
I'm gonna pick the Falcons in a bounce back, man. They went to bed last week. They should have won the game, or at least put it in the overtime, and they didn't. So I think this is going to be a true test of Michael Penix and see if he has that bounce back ability. He hasn't lost a lot as a player as well, and the way they lost, a lot of times that can deflate a team and players. So I look for Michael Penix to bounce back. He's a good young quarterback, and I think because they'll be at home as well too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the Georgia Dome will be rocking with half Minnesota fans.
We'll see. No, it's in Minnesota.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Well, I'm definitely taking Atlanta then.
I think Atlanta will win. I want to get to your thoughts too. What is the game that has you most interested heading into week number 2?
I've got it up now. I mean, I'm a little biased, but Eagles Chiefs, man. Eagles Chiefs,
of course.
The Super Bowl rematch. I was on this show last week talking about how poor the Chiefs look, right? Remember I talked about how their receivers look really, really bad.
Yeah, and I think that's a top 10 quarterback he lost to. What's his name? Oh, Justin Herbert. That's his name. Oh,
yeah, in a regular season game. The real difference maker was the guy who outplayed him twice in the biggest game called the Super Bowl. And that guy's name is Jalen Hurts. Just so happens that's who's playing again this week. So with that said, I just think the talent pool for Kansas City has diminished. That doesn't mean that Mahomes is a sufferable player. No, I just don't think they've got the talent they had the last few years up front, receivers wise, and then last year you saw in the running back room as well. Kelsey is 35 years old, 36. Listen, I'm not knocking the guy, but you got to call it like it is. Kelsey, it looks to me, he's got other things on his mind. He and Worthy did the Washington Generals versus the Harlem Globetrotters, ran into each other. The Mo, Curly, and Larry deal, the Three Stooges. What is that? Yeah. This guy's got a separated shoulder, and he's doubtful for this week's game. You can't be that close. Somebody made a mistake. Maybe it was Worthy, but one of those two guys made a mistake, right? You can't be the Keystone Cops out there talking about what you're going to do at the end of the season, coming off of you getting your tail whooped in the Super Bowl. So I'm taking, they're at Kansas City. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles just because now I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout because the Eagles defense, like I said to you, has taken a couple steps back. They absolutely have taken a couple
They'll
steps
have
back.
Jalen Carter. That's gonna make a
Well,
huge difference
even with
too.
that, right? But point being, they still lost 5
Yeah.
players, right?
No,
Guys
I
that
agree.
were very instrumental to that Super Bowl win. So, and that's okay. That just means Jalen has to do a little bit more because he may not be getting things handed to him like they were handed to him last season. So he's got to do a little bit more. So there's a little bit more expectation from him. Yeah. So that's the game I'm looking at. That's the big game for. That's one I've got circled.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I was gonna bring it up. I was just curious what you were thinking. Yeah, I got the Eagles winning. I don't think it'll be close. To be honest, I really don't know how. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the Chiefs do. It's Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll make something
You
work.
can't listen, you can't
You
count
can't
him
count
out,
him
man.
out.
You can't. I'll tell you this, game 2 that I like that's really going to be it's an intriguing matchup, also a media matchup, Bears versus Lions.
Yeah.
They're in Detroit. You saw what the Bears did this past week. They don't have the players that the Detroit Lions have on offense. And Johnson was kind of called out a little bit on that. He was kind of called out, especially in Minnesota. They were calling him overrated. They said you don't have the players, you don't have a chance. Of course, in Minnesota, I told you McCarthy could run for governor right now and he'd win.
I did some research on Caleb Williams and this Bears team. I've been watching, like I said, I've been watching a lot of like film analysis, people breaking down this stuff, and and a lot of people are saying it seems like after these first couple offensive drives, just things start to kind of fall out for Chicago, and I think for Caleb, I think his biggest problem is he's really good at making off script plays, but when they don't go well, it's really, really detrimental. And it feels like every drive he's trying to do an off script play. And it's like
Give Ramon some credit.
this isn't college.
Ramon spoke about that, if you
Yeah.
remember, way back. I think we were talking about this mid-July.
The draft,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. And he talked about that, right? And he says, I remember him saying, if he doesn't show something this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they come off of him. And I said, are you out of your mind? He was a first player pick. He's going to get every bit of a chance. But to your point, and he looks unhappy, by the way. He looks real unhappy. He doesn't look like a guy that loves playing football. And, the talk is that he didn't want to go to Chicago. He didn't like the city. And, there's also rumors about, him asking players to paint their nails, and they kind of, kind of push him away on that. And I think he just doesn't look like he's a happy guy. And I know this, if you're your employer and if you're not happy, you're not as good as an employee if you're not happy. So,
And I mean, you look at both of these teams. I think Detroit. I would say I'm more worried about Detroit than I am Chicago. At least Chicago looked good. Detroit didn't look good.
yeah, but Detroit played that team that just played last night. That's two offenses that they made look really bad. That both think about.
That's true.
Think about this. Both had excellent offensive last year. I think they were teams. I think they were 2-3 or 1-3 during the season, regular season. And you hand mulligans to both of them back to back. So, this isn't like Detroit saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to go in roughshod. I think Detroit wins this game. And I think I'm not saying they're going to win it handily, but I don't think it's going to be very close, like a nail biter like, Baltimore and Buffalo. 10-point win, something like that, kind of a comfortable deal. If the Bears do something, the Lions can match it.
Chicago's going to win. I liked what I saw from Chicago.
Okay.
And it's really for them. I think they'll play well in the first half. It's going to come down to that second half. They've got to create some offense. Caleb Williams can't overthrow DJ Moore like he did on Monday night. There's just a lot of things that look good about Chicago, and then there's a lot of things that didn't look good. But I think they'll get the win. Detroit looked really just, and I mean, a lot of people, you can't, and even that loss on Sunday, Micah had 1 sack, so it wasn't like Micah. I mean, the whole defense looked good, but it wasn't like Jared Goff was getting sacked a lot. It was just, this Detroit team offensively, it was a struggle, and maybe that is because of the new coordinators and something else. I saw another stat where it's like, other than like two offensive coordinators, Jared Goff's like, it's a really bad record. I should have saved it for the pod, but we'll see if that stat will continue to pop up if Detroit continues to not find success this year. Another game I'm interested in, it's two teams that are 1-0. It's Jacksonville and it's Cincinnati. Jacksonville had a really good win over Carolina. They look good. Cincinnati squeaked one out over Cleveland. I am curious on just how this game will look on both sides of the ball, because you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they beat a team that they were probably supposed to beat, a team that we thought they were going to lose to in week 1. And then you look at Cincinnati, they were supposed to put up probably 40 points on Cleveland, and they didn't. They had 7 seconds of offense in the second half. So this is an interesting game, I think, because I'm not going to say Jacksonville is a playoff team yet, but this would definitely be a big win for a Jacksonville organization that probably thought they should be contenders by now with the guy that they got at quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you this. The Bengals ran against a Cleveland team that has a good defense. Right?
That's true.
They got a really good defense, and they what they did to Joe Burrow, 14-23 for 113 yards and a touchdown. That was it. He only threw the ball 23 times. You remember we spoke about Joe Burrow about a month ago, and I said he may be the first quarterback with over 700 attempts in the season. Well, 23 a game isn't going to cut it, So they got to throw the ball more. Chase Brown had 41 rushes for 43 yards. They tried to run the ball. I think what they've tried to do is we're going to change our dynamic, right, of who we are. Total. Chase Brown was the only rusher for them other than Joe Burrow, and he ran for two times. Of course, trying to get out of things. But man, they have 44 plays. 44 plays. That's 11 a quarter.
Yeah.
They need close to about 65 is what they need. 60, 65.
Who wins?
Is not going to get it done.
Who wins that game?
I say Cincinnati bounce back.
Okay. I mean, they're 1-0, but I guess.
What I mean by bounce back, they're going to look better. They're going to look better. I think they're a better team. They're at home now, and they looked at this film from last week. Probably said, "Nah, we got to do better than that, man." So yeah, I'll take Cincinnati.
Let's run it down. We'll run down the schedule. If we want to stop about a game and talk, we can. But okay. Browns Ravens. Who you got winning that one?
Yeah, I've got it up now. Browns Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens in a wash. Ravens are mad. I think about 10, 12, 14-point win. Not, I don't project 30-point wins in the NFL. That's just you can't do that. If I say a 10, 12-point win for the Ravens, they're at home. They're licking their wounds. They're a little upset right now as well. But Cleveland's upset too because they felt like they gave a game away.
Yeah, I think Baltimore wins. I definitely think that. We just talked about Cincinnati and Jacksonville. I definitely got Cincinnati. Dallas and New York. As much as I want to see Dallas lose, they won't lose. So give me Dallas.
Yeah, I'm loving the Cowboys in this spot. To me, the game is going to be the most lopsided this week. Will probably be that game.
Okay,
that's what I personally think. That's what I think.
Bears Lions. I've got the Bears. Darrell, you said you've got Detroit. Next up, an interesting one: Patriots Dolphins in Miami. I kind of want to lean New England, but Miami at home, the way they lost last week.
I have no idea. The way the Dolphins played last week, you would think they're gonna go 1-16.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad. But the Colts defense is also very good.
Right, but with that said,
New England's defense is.
They got a good defense, but their offense isn't the stride yet, right? So
New England's,
New England. It's a game in South Florida. If you put a water gun to my head, I would say, give me New England.
Okay.
Listen, you ain't getting me to touch this with a 10-foot pole on the betting lines at all. I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I guess I'll say Miami, only because you would think Tyreek Hill and Waddle will get the ball this week, but Tua's got to get them the ball. That's the hard part there.
Well, is he going to get pulled? He got pulled last week, so he's got to get his head. He's got to
put in Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers camp. It's time to rally up. Let's go, Quinn Ewers. They put in who last week? Zach Wilson. Quinn Ewers better than Zach Wilson already. Come on now. Up next, 49ers and Saints. We already said 49ers. Mac Jones may throw for 200 yards. We'll have to see. Bills, Jets. I'm going to take the Bills, but I could see the Jets escaping this one out. It's in New York.
Last week, was one game, but I'm looking at my guy, man, Justin Fields, getting around, and he put the ball on the money to some players. Looks like Breece Hall decided since now he's not on any of my fantasy league teams, he wants to start to play now, which is going great for him. Don't get me started on Breece Hall, man. I use a lot of 4-letter words. He really he cost me a championship last year.
Wow,
it was a lot of money. He cost me.
Oh man,
I'm a scorned human being when it comes to Breece Hall. I'll leave it at that. But no, I would say more than likely the Bills will win, but don't count the Jets out to be whitewashed.
See, I wouldn't. I think the Jets got a shot, but I am going Bills. Seahawks, Steelers.
Man, this is a game what has me intrigued.
In Pittsburgh,
you got Mr. Metcalf going back to Seattle, right? They traded him. He's got a new contract, right? And he's wide receivers are divas, right? You've got the new quarterback in Seattle that came from Minnesota. Your boy's Mr. Darnold.
My boy.
Well, our boy. So there's a lot of intrigue there, right? Playing your old team, Sam Darnold. I think he almost played for every team in the league already, except for the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I think that with Aaron Rodgers being at home, playing well last week, not great, well, Seattle comes across from the Pacific Northwest to take a loss this week.
Yeah, give me the Steelers. I think they've got the momentum. I'll definitely take the Steelers. Rams, Titans in Tennessee. I will take the Rams.
Hey, if my boy is throwing the ball for the Rams, I know that the young quarterback for the Titans had his moments last week, but they still didn't get in the end zone. And I think he threw for like 112 yards or something like that. Something that's kind of a minuscule number. So for me, give me those Rams. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that too. I'm going to take the Rams. Panthers, Cardinals. Panthers looked really
I was
bad.
Right. I said 112 yards for Cam. 112 yards for Cam.
Wow, on the dot. Panthers, Cardinals though. I can't even pick the card. I can't even pick the Panthers after last week. I gotta go Cardinals.
I'm holding off. Listen, think about this. Cardinals looked so bad against New Orleans. You were thinking, well, maybe New Orleans is not so bad. And now
Kyler Murray was a little sick, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And I said that last week. I said I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll take the Cardinals.
And now we're saying there's no way the Panthers. I think one of us maybe even picked the Panthers against the Cardinals. And
it was you. I think it was you.
I'm not ashamed to say may have been wrong, but I'm taking the Cardinals and the little guy.
Shout out Ramon.
I'm taking the Cardinals and the little guy.
Next up, Broncos Colts in Indy. I'll take the Colts. I'll take Indiana Jones, the new sheriff's in town.
Danny Dime time.
Yeah,
the Broncos I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm calling a fast track. You got some receipts. You got some really good receivers on both sides, and it looked as though Danny Dimes had a little something to prove last week.
There's a lot of questions on Denver. I think Denver's really got to show us something here. I'm not saying win the game, but man, I need to see something because last week was not pretty.
Chiefs game. Give me the Colts.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, yeah, I got the Colts. Chiefs Eagles.
We talked about that.
Talked about it a little bit. I mean, to be fair, and I'm going to be honest, I have really no interest in watching this game. Maybe it's because we've seen it in 2 Super Bowls and everything else.
Man,
but
this is really interesting. You know why? Because the teams have changed so much.
I don't know. I'm just not interested. I honestly, a lot of the 4:00 slate is just not interesting. I mean, the Colts I'll watch, but it's not doing it for me.
Well, it's not a lot at the 4:00 window. It's only 3 games. But with that said, at the 4:00 piece, I'm gonna be sitting in front of the TV watching this Chiefs Eagles game.
I'll watch it, but I'm just like, I mean, I just feel like the Eagles win. I don't know. I mean, Chiefs got a shot, but I got the Eagles. Sunday night we talked about it, but I don't think either of us gave a. No, we did give a pick. I said. I think we both said Atlanta, right?
Yep, Falcons.
All right, and then while we're here, let's go ahead and preview the Monday night games. We'll make this a separate thing, and then I'll post this on Monday morning. Buccaneers, Texans, Chargers, Raiders. What are your thoughts on both of those games?
I was very high on the Texans at the beginning of the season. I still am. I haven't stopped. But I thought that my guy was going to be in the backfield for him. I didn't think he's going to start the season on the injury report. So I would say this: the way Tampa Bay looked last week and as resilient as they were, it wouldn't surprise me that the Buccaneers go on the road and beat the Texans. The Buccaneers may have a little bit of secret sauce going on there, man. It looked really good.
No, I don't disagree with you. Texans did not look good against an LA team that we had we were very critical of because of the Matthew Stafford thing, but Rams looked good. Texans, it looked a little shaky. I don't know where to go with this because it's in Houston, so I'm going to go with the Texans, only because it's in Houston. I think they need a bounce back. Buccaneers played a close game. Houston's got a shot. And then Chargers, Raiders. What are your overall thoughts there on this?
Give me the fighting Justin Herberts, man. I think the Chargers beat the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a decent story. But it wouldn't surprise me that Ashton Gentry gets bottled up this week with that defense. I think they're gonna really shoot towards him, and it wouldn't surprise me he has a really bad game this coming Monday night. So I'll take the Chargers.
I definitely got the Chargers, but I don't know, man. I feel a shift in the AFC West right now. I feel like the tides are turning in Justin Herbert's favor here to win the division very early on. Think about it. Broncos go 0-2. Chiefs go 0-2. You put the Raiders at 1-1. I mean, you're separated from the team that's run the division by 2 games for. I mean,
I tell you what,
man,
the games we just picked, one of them's gonna be flipped. Because that's the way it goes. Right? Either Denver's going to win, or Chargers may lose, and the Chiefs may win. That's the beauty of football, right? But what we think is going to happen, you get in the game, you didn't think that Washington would lay an egg like they did last night. No one did. And they laid an absolute ostrich edge. Egg. It wasn't a chicken egg, it was an ostrich egg.
I'm not putting U.S. currency on Jaden Daniels for at least 2 weeks. After last night, because, man.
Hold the horses on that one for sure.
I don't want to get back into it, but man, I just did not expect that out of Washington's offense. I thought they would play a lot better, regardless of Green Bay's defense. I thought they were going to score, and they just did. They did not.
Man,
score.
He was the offensive rookie of the year last year. Hell, he got MVP votes last year. The way he played.
But still,
they tried to get some design runs for him. Nothing worked. Nothing worked last night for him.
It's a testament to Green Bay, though. I mean, their defense is stout. It is stout right now. After week 1, heading into week 2, Darrell, what are your overall thoughts as we head into week 2? I know you're a big wait and see early on type of guy.
Let me overreact.
There we go. Come on, give me something.
I'm gonna say it right here and right now. The way Philadelphia played the first week and how things went, I can see Philadelphia not making it to the NFC title game. That's my take. Now, listen, I still love me some Jalen Hurts. That's my dude, no matter what. But I just something's telling me they're gonna take a few more steps back than most are talking about. That's my take. My week 1 piece. The other piece of that is this: I may have been wrong about the Jets. I said the Jets were 31.
Yeah. 31.
Now, mind you, it was week 1, but man, they looked comfortable. They looked confident. The defense played pretty decent. Now, granted, you get 30 points hung on you. So, well, how is that decent? They hit them. They were competing. So yeah, those are my 2 takeaways from week 1. The Jets, I think, may be better than I anticipated, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles will be looking on TV at the NFC title game this year.
Yeah, my overreaction is I think the Chargers will win the division. That is my overreaction because obviously they may lose. That is my overreaction. I think they will win the division. The other one that I'm thinking too is, I mean, it's kind of on the lines of you, right? I mean, it's not. I think the Eagles can make the NFC Championship, but I want to see how the next couple weeks go because it may be the Green Bay Packers. They may be the favorites to come out of the NFC if they continue to look this strong.
I'll keep saying this. You can't throw dirt on the Lions, and you can't throw dirt on Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man, Lions got about 2 to 3 more weeks before I sell my stock on them, man. Because I gotta see how.
I like that. I'm a Dan Campbell dude, man. Hey, give me Dan Campbell all day and twice on Sunday.
Too, but man, and it's not even Campbell that worries me. Honestly, it probably is Jared Goff. I mean, Goff does worry me a little bit too, because it's like how much of Goff's performances at some point came down to Ben Johnson. That's what I'm curious.
Well, but here's the thing. Look at Ben Johnson this past week. He didn't look Ben Johnson-esque to me. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Chicago fans are going to talk about that first drive to their grandkids, though, for sure.
They hung a banner. First drive champions.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting week.
You talked about a script. Hey, now that may have been a part of the script. Hey, Ben Johnson goes to Chicago from Detroit. The first drive, that type of drive. You want to talk about script? Maybe that was in the script.
That was a pump fake. I gotta know. I mean, Chicago fans, it's not gonna get any better. Y'all just paid Josh Giddey $100 million, so it's only gonna get worse for Chicago fans this week as they progress on.
Hey, listen, don't bring up the guy you definitely don't want in any vicinity of Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, please. Let's not bring this guy up, man. You did it, not me.
You paid him $100 million. I didn't bring up that, but I don't even.
I think he's got a clause in his contract. He can't be at Chuck E. Cheese, Sky Zone.
Remember Monkey Joe's? Yes, Monkey Joe's is a classic. Monkey Joe's is probably better than Chuck E. Cheese. That's a hot take. That is a hot take right there. Darrell, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man. I'm just glad and excited about the new streaming service we've got. I'm really excited about this. This news we're going to drop this weekend. It's killing me not to share, but we got 2 days away. Today's the Friday before the weekend, so we got some time. But I'm fired up about this season. I'm just as fired up as I was the first week as I am now. Nothing's changed.
I am too. I'm very excited, folks. The content's going to keep rolling. Remember, we are now also on Spotify, folks. I want to explain before we go. I want to explain how it's going to work, right? So, if you want to watch our newest video, the way it'll work is whatever we upload on YouTube, it'll be on Spotify the day after. So because obviously we're trying to drive more of an audience here to YouTube because, this YouTube's going to line up with a lot more of our announcements that we have coming up, even whether that's live stream or stuff like that. So I want to drive people to the YouTube first. So whatever you see so if you're seeing this video right now, if it comes out on Friday, which is the day we are recording, the episode, this episode will go on Spotify that next day. So on Saturday. So if you want to listen to Spotify, it comes out a day later. YouTube, it comes out on the day that it'll drop first here on YouTube because this is where we want to prioritize our fan base. This is where we want to grow. Spotify is just that second piece because some people prefer audio podcasts. So we want to give people that room as well. So if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Spotify. We've got so many announcements coming up. We've got the merch link in the bio. If you want to buy a shirt, make sure to email me or Dale. Our emails are always in the bio.
I'll drop the QR code as well in there too.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get some things going as well. Hopefully, with this new streaming service, we can just put the QR code on screen here soon, and that way it'll make it easier for you guys as well. But that is going to do it, folks. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back right here for more content right here on the GameTime Podcast.
All the viewers, subscribers, friends, family of the GameTime Podcast, do me a quick favor. All right, reach out and get your T-shirts. If you look to the right of me or the left of me, you'll see both of my colleagues have these beautiful Game Time T-shirts.
Yeah, man, check it out. You see it right here, the logo that you see on the pod.
What you don't see is me with one because they forgot to give me mine. So you go get yours before I get mine, all right? Because you're closer to the family than I am because they left me out. I love those two, like cooked food, but they left me out. But you know what? They won't leave you out. Contact Isaiah, contact God. You can even contact me, and maybe we'll get ours together at the same time. All right?
We might.
Get in touch with us for details. We'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Rock the Game Time.
GameTime Podcast. That is right, folks. We are officially selling shirts. If you have any interest in buying them, let us know. $20 is the price for that. We're a startup selling them, so maybe Darrell will be nice. And,
maybe some flexibility. You never know. Just reach out and see. These aren't free, but hey, we have some opportunity to put our word out there. The GameTime Podcast as we continue to grow, for sure.
It's all about support. So if you guys do want to support us, make sure you guys do let us know. Just something we're starting up. Just going to see how it worked. We originally got them made for the pod, but then we had a couple people reach out to me and Darrell about maybe wanting to buy some. So we were like, you know what? Why not make an announcement video? So if you're interested, please let us know, and we will see you guys next time right here on the GameTime Podcast.